quite a few comments about this radio, and I thought that it would be interesting to kind of test some of the things that I didn't test because I'm really curious. Someone suggested the possibility that this is actually not a superhet, that it might be a like a TRF, or I kind of think there's a possibility that it might be a direct conversion. I'm gonna get in here where you can kind of see this, and I know this transistor here is audio output. That one may be the complementary side of that. So that kind of leaves you with these other transistors. The only thing I know to do really is just kind of stick the oscilloscope on it, and we'll kind of see what we can figure out. So I had a trace on one of these capacitors lift, and I was trying to use the oscilloscope, and I thought I would just kind of show you how awful this is to work on. It's gotten to be a mess. So I'm gonna have to find a way here. You can see between these two, it had already lifted here, but I think I'm gonna have to bridge it all the way across here, and then this is the other side of that capacitor, and it's lifted. So not fun. But I kind of thought that I would just kind of bring you in and actually just show you the components in a little bit better visual clarity. So here's the headphone jack. Here's the volume control, power switch. And these two transistors here, this transistor and this transistor are for the audio. This resistor is for the bass, at least for this one. I don't know about that one. And this sets up the collector voltage. I don't know what that ceramic right there is for. And I believe this capacitor, this is the biggest one in the bunch by far. This is 120 microfarad. I believe it's the audio. Or no, I'm sorry. This is the audio output capacitor. Right there. What size was that? I think it was a 120. 100. So, and the speaker connection is on. I mean, I've followed it around. It's on that trace that capacitor goes to. But there's not much else. I mean, and I do believe it's a TRF because there's only two other transistors. And I'm not super familiar with TRFs, but the ones I've seen, they usually have two stages of amplification for RF, and there's some type of feedback from the second stage back to the first, or usually maybe even a couple of feedback mechanisms. Possibly the base is connected to the collector of the second circuit or some weird thing, who knows. And one of these is a diode, I thought. For the detector, so I'm assuming it has one, but I don't see it. So anyway, but yeah, then there's a big disc capacitor here, up here next to the bar antenna. So you've got to figure that probably this resistor, that disc, I don't know what that electrolytic is doing. Maybe it's helping to keep the circuit stable somehow. But these two discs, these two resistors, well, these three discs here, unless this disc has something to do with the audio, and this resistor most likely. So in other words, everything kind of, if you draw a line from here back over, is probably, this is all the RF section except for this capacitor here. At least that's what it looks like to me. I didn't follow the traces around super great, but anyway, just thought I would bring y'all in and just kind of show you a little bit closer view, so maybe you can make a little bit better sense out of it if you were so inclined and curious as to use the mental energy. Had a lot of trouble with, as I was trying to hit things with my scope, I popped up two more traces. Just the pressure of clamping onto those components and the weight of the oscilloscope probe. So very frustrating. So I'm on what I believe is the first RF stage transistor, and what I'm trying to do is just kind of, if I can get everything in the camera here, but I'm just trying to kind of see what the voltage is there. That must be, yeah, that evidently that's the emitter and not the collector. There's the base. And the way that I've been doing this is I got this little hook probe, which I think came with a signal generator or something. But it has a hook like an oscilloscope, and I've been using that a lot. I just put a alligator clip on it. Makes it really easy to check voltages, because sometimes when you go in with your probe, you end up shorting things or hitting the wrong thing, and you've got another probe you've got to hold, and that just makes it a lot easier. But anyway, that's where I'm going to connect my oscilloscope, and we'll see what we can get. But when I tried it the first time, I didn't get anything very meaningful. So I'm sure part of the problem is I just don't know how to use my oscilloscope. But this is kind of what I'm getting. It just fluctuates everywhere. And I mean, I'm sure those frequencies are in there too. I just don't want to see the VHF frequencies. I want to see like 1 megahertz or something. Okay, while I'm talking here a little bit, I'll throw up a couple shots of the from the scope. But basically, I checked the base and I checked the collector, and I'm just kind of getting a bunch of gibberish, really. I don't know if that's expected, or it's probably I just don't know how to set up my scope. I checked the voltage to make sure that I was on which leg of the transistor was which, and I got almost no voltage on one, and 0.68, and then 1.45. So it's on the 1.45 one right now, which I was assume that's the collector. And but anyway, I guess this didn't really go as good as what I'd hoped. I was thinking we could get some cool shots of the oscilloscope and I would learn some more, but mainly I made this little epilogue because so many people commented on the original video, and I don't understand why I would have thought that this was a superhet when there's only 4 transistors in it. And if you do any kind of, if you look at it even for a minute, you would see that 2 of them were for the audio. So there's not a lot of ways that you could make a full-blown receiver with only 2 transistors in the RF section. So to me, it really has to be a TRF, and I just really again making this because I wanted to say thank you for all the people that commented on it, because it really helped me to learn some stuff, or to I guess it I learned a lot, but it also kind of taught me to pay more attention when I first open it up and look at the components and do a better job of understanding what they're doing and not make assumptions about the circuit until you've actually tested some things. And I should know better from my days as an auto mechanic against things like that. But uh, again, thank you all to everyone who commented and watched on the original video. And if you're just showing up here for the first time, then go watch the original and have a cup of coffee and enjoy. And I think the next one, I think we're just gonna continue, and we'll go for the part the one that looks the same but isn't the same. This is the one that actually has transformers in it. I'm sure this really is a superhet, but we've got a broken battery holder that we got to deal with. So that'll be the first challenge. But we will see you on the next video.